Apparently so. Oh yes. Hey everybody, welcome back to Cattywampus Acres. I'm out here this evening actually, that I can't even say good morning. So the plan is we're going to do a little checkup on the farm at night, I guess, or evening, because every homesteader knows this time of year what happens after daylight savings. Hey Hulk. Oh, Hulk doesn't always let us pet him. But yeah, so it gets dark around 5:30 now, so that's no fun. But a lot of stuff's been happening, so let's go take a look around and see what we have to do. Also, it's going to be in the 30s, or maybe below 30 or 30 degrees even, something tonight, so we're going to make sure all the animals are prepped for this evening. And I think if you stay tuned, what we may do is we have to make soap. If you didn't know, we have this little soap company, and we have to make some soap because it is soap is flying off the shelves, if you will. So we got to make some soap tonight. So I don't think we've ever filmed actually making soap, so we'll show you that tonight. How's everybody doing over here? Got Quag. Quag is good. He's got some hay on him. Obviously he's been sleeping. Mr. Bojangles. Whoa, Ollie. What kind of, whoa, you got some hay on you, bud. Got some hay on you, little guy. Need to check on these goofy piglets. These things are growing out of control. They're like 6.5 weeks old. Are you ready for this? Look at this. Look at these guys. This is the male that we have. This guy is huge. He's trying to eat me. And this is our female. Little ornery things. So she's going to be our breeder. We'll end up doing artificial insemination with her. We haven't named her, so not officially. We've given her a couple names, but not officially. So if you can put in the comments down below a good name for her, since she's going to be our breeder and we're going to keep her around, let us know. And then this guy, in a few months, looking like the way he's going, he will be our next feeder pig. So they're Berkshire crosses, and hopefully we'll get many, many more from you, huh? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Man, he's a chub. Check over here with the Love Shack. See if there's any love connections getting made. Miyagi, how are you, sir? Baruka. Hello, girl. Luna's standing on. Those are Mr. Miyagi's blocks, ma'am. So Luna's, because we're trying to breed Mr. Miyagi, who's a little shorter than these girls, with these bigger girls, we put these blocks in here for Mr. Miyagi to assist him in his breeding process. Oh, well, hello. Hello, Luna says hi. Luna says hi. You doing good? The cold bothering you? I don't think so. I don't think so. Jolene and Francine. That rhymed. Jolene, Francine. I'm pretty sure Jolene's already bred by Mr. Miyagi. And then Tina and Peyton are down at the other end. We need to get another buck, either to borrow or buy, so we can get Tina and Peyton bred, because we want to breed them with a new buck. Now you heard me mention about taking care of the animals when it gets cold. The goats we really don't have too much of an issue with. They're not really ever bothered by cold or hot, especially not here in Georgia. It does get hot, but majority of what we have are Nigerian dwarfs, and they're originally from Nigeria, so the heat that we have here in Georgia really doesn't compare. But as far as the chickens go, you'll read a lot if you're just beginning raising chickens. You'll read a lot about people putting sweaters on their chickens or insulating their coops. I probably will make some people mad by saying this. Chickens don't need your help to stay warm. That's just the simple facts of it. Chickens will stay warm all by themselves. As long as you have more than one chicken, they will get together, they will fluff up, and they will regulate their own temperature. That's all that matters. Isn't that right, ladies? And gentlemen, sorry. Some of them are in molt, some have come out of molt. You can see which ones are still in molt because, boy, they look rough this time of year. But yeah, so this time of year you're going to notice, if this is your first time with chickens, you're going to notice that your egg laying during winter drops significantly. Now part of that has to do with the molting. If you see a rough looking chicken, and I will show you that right now, that one right there, if the chicken looks like they are missing feathers and stuff, they are molting. They will not lay eggs during this period until they get their beautiful new feathers back. All the energy that would normally go into making eggs, they are now putting into producing new feathers and a new overall appearance. But the other reason your chickens are probably not laying eggs right now, or not laying as many, a chicken requires 14 hours. That's 14 hours of light in order to lay one egg. Basically through the oviduct all the way through the system, it requires 14 hours of light, either artificial or real, in order to produce one egg. And that's about a 24 to 25 hour process that it takes them to lay that egg. From the time that egg cell drops until the time it comes out of the chute, or the vent as it is called. So the unfortunate thing is this time of year is a lot of these gals are pretty much freeloaders this time of year. You could probably went from, if you have this many chickens, you probably went from having a few dozen eggs a day to maybe just a few. But it's just to be expected. It's natural. You can fake the light situation by putting a light in there and putting it on a timer to make sure that they get a full 14 hours of light, and it will crank out those eggs. But it will ultimately shorten the amount of time, or years if you will, that they can lay eggs, because they only have a certain amount of egg cells in their body. So because we still get eggs, and you can freeze eggs and pickle them and do all kinds of things to preserve them, we don't put that kind of stress on them. We just sort of let them do their thing. When they want to slow down laying, we let them slow down laying. That's just how we do it. But we're not going to hate on you. If you want to fake the light, hey, that's fine too. But I will say, don't worry about these girls. As long as you got a coop for them that they can go and roost in at night, don't worry about the cold for them. They will, I promise you, they're going to figure it out. Unless you live in Antarctica, which I don't know how many farms there are in Antarctica. Maybe you can put that in the comments below, how many Antarctic farms there are. These girls are going to be just fine. Bunnies are doing all right. You guys doing all right, fellas? Yeah? But yeah, you sniffing? You sniffing? What you think? Yeah, they're doing all right. We got our ever-bearing strawberries here. We got the ones we planted that we got from Greg and Sheila when we were down at Haas Tools. They are actually starting to grow. Send out some runners, and we just like to let the runners go in this and sort of let it fill up our bed. As you can see, the orchard, don't mind these. These are just fabric that we pulled out of the garden. But the orchard is losing its leaves. That's Fiona yelling. Our fig trees are going for the winter. They're going to sleep. As you can see, we'll get all these leaves cleared out. We don't want to spread any fungus or anything like that. It's weird because they're dropping leaves, but you can see, man, these things are very vigorous growers. That one, that's our brown turkey, and this is our Italian honey fig. So they are calling it quits for the year. And so are our stone fruits and our pears and apples, and our persimmon way over there. It's dropped all of its leaves, and so we will get all the leaves out of here and away from the bases of the trees and burn those so we don't have to worry about any diseases getting passed on. Brussels sprouts are still cranking along, as you can see. Kale, we've been eating on this kale. If you follow us on Instagram, Lauren made a post on Instagram the other day and showed how we was eating this kale. That we were eating this kale. Sorry about that. And so it's doing very well, and you can eat kale all the time. All you got to do is pick from the bottom, and you can just keep letting it rock and roll. Uh-oh, I found Steven. Him and Hulk are fighting. Those two play so well together. And our weedy garden here, we're just treating this like a cover crop. I'm not sure what this is. Here, maybe you can put in the comments. I'm not sure what that is. It is not grass. So if you know what that is, let us know. But We put so many seeds in and out and so many animals in and out of here that could be anything, but it's growing like a mat, and so we'll just treat it as a cover crop and let it do its thing. And then here's our strawberries that we planted in here because we had ran out of space. And we noticed that our elephant garlic is actually starting to poke its head. We planted that a little bit later than we wanted to, but it is starting to come out. And shame on me, I've still not cut my asparagus back. We need to get this fencing out of here that we had from the pigs, and once I do that, once I pull these staples out, I will cut all that asparagus. Maybe I can get that done tonight. We got our purple cabbage. We have this 45-day cabbage. Here's our green magic broccoli, still cranking along, and some cauliflower. If you've watched our videos before, when we talk about our orchard, we've talked about this first tree we planted that we actually got for our wedding, and that's our snow angel white peach tree. And it is big, and I have to prune it back every year because it grows very very vigorously. But I've talked about how it blooms usually in like February because it's a cold blooming peach, which is sort of crazy. I guess that's why they call it a snow angel. But I pruned it last winter, and it is probably 12-14 feet tall up there at the peak, so that'll be fixed here in a few weeks. But check this out, it's November. Look at this, these peach trees are crazy, man. So hopefully it doesn't all bloom because we don't want that. In other exciting news, all of our lovely, with the exception where the cats are digging, all of our lovely radishes, our tillage radishes from Haas, have started to come up. So we're going to have a lovely cover crop in here that we can let grow through the rest of the fall, the winter, and into the spring. And hopefully we have some nice tillage from those radishes. But hopefully you can see through the camera this lush green that's popping up all over the place. We have radishes sprouting all over down here. Here is our beehive that I need to clean up the remaining pieces of. We'll be ordering a nuke from my bee guy, so I'm all prepared for spring. And then we have Ernest, Mr. Ernie, Ernie over here. He is growing. He does like being by himself since Caroline's been going. Doesn't really like to be petted very much. He is a docile breed, but he is to the point where we are going to need to process him very soon because we are planning on doing a whole hog roast with him because I think his hernia is getting a little bit too big now to where he probably can't manage it as well, but he's grown quite a bit, and so it's about that time when we need to get him before he gets too big. Isn't that right? And then we will be moving those Berkshire Cross out here very soon because they've basically been weaned up to this point. But we have Ernie out here in our, we call it the easement. And so we got him in here with this very short, it's probably only 2.5 feet tall or so. This electric fence, I think it's Premier One, I'm not sure. And we just have that on our little 15-mile charger. But you can see the Maison breed, they don't do a whole lot of rooting. This when they get really, really bored is the only time they root. But as soon as we put these Berkshire piglets back here, they'll have this tore up. All right, we got the fence taken out. So I'm gonna go through here and nip down this asparagus down to sort of like ground level so you can stress it out enough and hopefully it'll promote growth in spring. I want to see if there's somebody on the farm that can use this asparagus that we trimmed down. Would you like to try some asparagus? Would you like to, oh, I brought you a bouquet. Oh yes. Do you like this? I think they like it. Oh yes. Oh, Francine, the gentle giant. You like asparagus? Apparently so. Oh yes. Take some of this down to our friends at the other end so we don't completely neglect them. Then we got to get inside and make some soap. Now I don't know if we can disclose our secret soap recipes, but I can certainly show you how you can make it. You like some asparagus? Yeah. Try that on. He is eating it. Well, I hope you folks down here just truly enjoy the heck out of this. I really do. Time to make the soap. All right, we are here in the kitchen, which doubles as our soap factory, if you will. And I'm gonna get right into it. So we always put our goat's milk, our fresh goat's milk, we freeze it so it doesn't scald when we add the lye to it. So we're gonna add our goat's milk in this bowl. And I pre-measured out our lye, our sodium hydroxide. And this is the part you have to be really careful about, and I would recommend always wearing safety glasses for sure. I don't like the glove end of things because if you get lye down in the glove, it'll burn you and you can't get it out, so that's why I don't wear that. But should be wearing safety glasses, I'm not, but you definitely should. And so be careful when pouring this in. Lye is an alkaline and it's a pH of about 14 by itself. That'll do a number on your skin. I don't have any on me, so you'll know really quickly if you get any lye in you. It's not the end of the world. I definitely wouldn't ingest it. That would be really bad, but it will burn. And if you don't get it washed off with some cool water or vinegar, as people say, then you'll notice it will burn. So safety first, always. I'm going to put a little sodium lactate in here, and this is another, it is a natural ingredient. It's not anything like chemically or anything like that, but what this does is it will harden your bar and make it last a little bit longer. I will start our stirring process right now. And like I said, this is not anything to play around with. It's certainly not a game, because if you were to get this on you, it will definitely burn you pretty bad. But what happens is, during the saponification process, the lye water, or in this case lye milk, will mix with the fats, and it will bring it down. As it cures, it will bring it down to a reasonable pH, like a 9.5 or a 10. Usually 9.5 or 10, which makes it safe for your skin, which tends to be on the more acidic side. Certainly after you wash it a bunch. All right, I'm gonna add in our liquefied coconut oil here. So I was thinking, I guess we have done this a really, really long time ago in one of our really old videos, but I imagine we have so many new subscribers since then. You can see how we make our soap and see how it is really good for you. Really good for your skin. I wouldn't suggest eating it. I'm gonna add in our avocado oil next. Throw in just a wee bit of canola oil here. Throw in some olive oil. Now, if you're just making this for home and this is all you want, you can just blend this together and call it a day. But we like to put a phthalate-free fragrance in it, because that really makes it awesome and takes it over the top, because everybody likes to smell good. We usually, on our website and at our farmers markets, usually carry about 12 to 14 different scented soaps on there, along with our beard oils and stuff like that. Now I'm going to add in our fragrance. We like to put kale and clay in ours, which is really good for getting oils out of your pores. And now it's time to blend. Now this is the part that really messes a lot of people up. They see people making soap and they freak them out about temperatures and when you're mixing things together and what everything should. Listen, it's not that hard. Don't freak out about it. You can do it, I promise. Now what you're looking for here is something called trace. And with trace, you're going to blend it until it starts to thicken up and the saponification process starts. And the reason they call it trace is, I don't know why they call it trace, but the way you can tell you're at trace is when you take and put the drips on top of the solution, and you can sort of see that it'll sort of stand up by itself a little bit. See how it's thickened up like that? Now this is a very light trace, and for me, that's all I really need. All right, the last thing we have to do is pour it in. Now at this point, you can do all kinds of fancy stuff at the top, or you can just leave it the way it is. We'll let it cure for a day, probably, inside the mold. Pull the molds off. It'll be nice and hardened up at that point. Then we will cut the bars. And if you're making this for yourself at home, you can make them as big or small or whatever shape or size that you want. And that, folks, is how we make soap here at Cattywampus Acres. Make sure you check out our link to our website down in the description below. It's www.cattywampusacres.com, where you can get all of our soaps, beard oils, and all the other goodies that we make. I hope that if you have a farm and you can try this on your own and give it a go. Don't be scared of it. I promise you can do it too. But for now, remember what we always say, when you homestead, you're home fed. Or in this case, I guess when you homestead, you're home washed. I don't know. But we'll see you guys next time.